The Porter Wagoner Show, starring Porter Wagoner and the Wagonmasters, with Speck Rhodes, Norma Jean, and guest star Johnny Bond.
Hello, Mr. P.
What's say, Slick Nickel?
How you feeling, man?
I'm telling you, I had one question I was going to ask you, but instead I've just decided I'll see you in 2 weeks, teacher. Here's Porter Wagoner.
Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go, me oh my oh. We gotta go pull the P road down the bayou. My Yvonne, the sweetest one, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle, oh. Big guitar, filled fruit jar, and big game. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. All right now. If it does, the pumping nose, the place is buzzing. The kin folks come to see Yvonne by the dozen. The dressing style, go hog wild, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, the filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Michelle. Big guitar, filled fruit jar, and big gale. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou. That's fine, man. That's awful good.
Thank you.
And by the way, I know you want to thank the folks who bought your new album. You have some real fine tunes in it. You got a new one coming out. We'll show a picture of it one of these days.
All right. Yeah.
Bring it out. We'll show a picture of it. Mighty fine there, Buck Trent. You know, our fellow that is guest today, we're mighty fortunate to get a chance to have him on our program. He's a very, very good friend of mine and a fellow that has added an awful lot to the country music business by writing some great songs that have been recorded over the past several years. Also, he's been in movies, made records and everything. And I'm real happy to call him a good friend of mine. Let's welcome him right now, Johnny Bond. Come out here.
Hi, Porter. Thank you for that very, very nice introduction.
Johnny, you're just more than welcome. It's so nice to have you come visit us.
Pleasure's all mine, I assure you.
Could we get you to kind of let us reminisce a little over some of the songs that you've written?
Would you like a little sample of some of each of them, Porter?
Yes.
All right, we'll start with the present and go backward in time, you know, like some of us would like to do if we could. In 1958, Mr. Jim Reeves made a fine recording of one of our compositions called The Fool's Paradise. As I write this letter to you, darling, I can't hold the teardrops from my eyes. For at sundown I will lay a dying at the door of the Fool's Paradise. Back in 1955, we wrote a song entitled The Cherokee Waltz. For some reason I've never been able to figure out, they picked it up in Germany, of all places, and rewrote it and called it Jim, Johnny, and Jonas Jonas, we're waiting, just waiting for you. Going backward in time even further, Mr. Tennessee Ernie Ford recorded in a song I wrote in 1951, Glad Rags. Now, baby, you do the dishes and I'll feed the old sow. Also the chickens and our one Jersey cow. Take down your curlers and powder your nose. And, well, I'll tell you what, in 1950 I wrote a song, but I want to come back to it. I don't do it just now. We'll get back to it. 1948, though, being from the state of Oklahoma, we wrote, It happened in old Oklahoma one night neath the beautiful moon. Then in 1945, and we're really going back now, Mr. Ernest Tubb made a fine recording of I'll Step Aside for You If You Don't Want Me. And you were once, my darling, all your own. Mr. Tubb spent a lot of time in California in these years. We wrote another one in 1943 entitled, Oh, Tomorrow Never Comes. No tomorrow never comes. Now you tell me that you love me, but tomorrow never comes. In 1941, we wrote a song you boys on the Grand Ole Opry have sung it many, many times, and I thank you very much because I've grown quite partial to that BMI performance. The rain is cold and slowly falling up on my window pane tonight. We'll go back now to 1938, and this is the very first one, I promise you. Being from the Cimmaron country, we thought we would write Cimmaron, hold on. Carry me away to the ocean blue. Cimmaron, roll on. Now, Porter, here is the one that we left out, and if you'll come back in here, please, sir, we'd like to do a song we wrote in 1951, like we said, and thanks to you, sir, it made it possible for us to receive the one and only BMI award ever presented to us for your fine recording of your old love letters.
I'll join you on the chorus.
Would you please? Today we burned our old love letters. I burned them gently one by one, and before I'd light the flame I'd read it to try and find the wrongs I'd done. The first you wrote me was the sweetest. The last one broke my heart in two. And all alone I'm left here weeping o'er the ashes of your letters tied in blue. Thank you, Porter. I think we deserve another award for that. Thank you a whole lot.
John, thank you very much. Johnny Bond, we'll have him back a little bit later. Isn't that wonderful? So many great songs written by this fella. And right now, here's a real fine little gal to come out here and entertain you and sing you a real pretty song that we recorded in an album here a while back, or she recorded it in an album with us, which we'll tell you about later on. Here is Miss Norma Jean to sing I Want to Live Again.
We stopped living when our love died, and I want to live again. Our love grew cold a long time ago. We both know love is gone, and yet we stay together. We just keep hanging on. It's wrong to live together when our love has reached an end. We stopped far apart. We live a life of loneliness each day that we pretend. We stopped living when our love died, and I wanna live again. I wanna be kissed like I used to be, real like I used to be, love like I used to be. I wanna live again. I wanna be kissed like I used to be, real like I used to be, love like I used to be. I wanna live again.
Here's a song that we had quite a lot of requests for. We try to get the mail out and go through it and pick out the ones that you've asked for the most. And here's one that you asked for called I've Enjoyed As Much of This As I Can Stand. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. You look lovelier tonight than I remember. I'm so glad I got to see you once again. I've enjoyed just sitting down and reminiscing, but I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. So you say you're happy now, you found a new love. Tell him I said he's a lucky, lucky man. No, I don't think I'll have time to see his picture. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. There's so much more between us than this table. All those years, all those dreams, all those plans. Guess you know without me saying I still love you. But I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And by the way, the words to that's in this book here, along with a lot of other songs that we have did on the program and recorded, plus pictures and stories about all of us folks on the program. If you haven't gotten yours yet, well, we'd like to tell you where that you can write and get one for only 50 cents. Now, it has a bunch of our guest stars and all of us folks in it. Send 50 cents to Porter Wagoner, Box 404, Nashville, Tennessee. And if you'd like more than one, you just tell us how many you want, and 50 cents each. You can send them to your friends who watch our program, too. Thank you very much. And right now, here's a couple of old boys' pictures that's in this book. When they get together and talk, they usually have a lot of fun. So let's look in on them right now. Here's Speck and T.
What in the world?
Oh, howdy, T.
What's going on, Speck?
Oh, I just been sitting around here this morning, today, just answering the telephone and reading the paper here.
Any important calls come in?
Well, yeah. There was one feller called up and wanted to know if this was the city gas works.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, this is T. Tommy's office.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he kind of said real nice like. He said, well, I didn't miss it before, did I?
I don't have to put up with that kind of carry. Hey, listen, Speck. What you doing reading the Daily War Whoop and the Battle Cry of
Yeah,
Freedom?
I've been reading the want ads and all in there. Listen to this one.
Mm.
Why kill your wife? Let electricity do it. We'll help. Joe's Electric Shop.
That sort of reminds me of one. You remember that old gal I used to go with, Irma Cornblug?
Yeah, I know Irma.
I got to know Irma pretty well, but I never could pronounce her name.
Me either.
Well, she was revolting, Speck.
Yeah?
Yeah, the whole family, in fact, was shocking. They kept her brother in a dry cell all by himself. He was too much of a live wire.
Oh, now, turn off the current, boy, and get a load of this one. Lost fountain pen by a young man full of ink.
Oh, now, for goodness sake. That's rough one, isn't it?
Yeah, lost umbrella by a lady with ivory handle.
Oh, goodness. You got any more?
Colonel Newsom got him in there, hasn't he?
Yes, sir.
Here's one wanted to buy.
Colonel Newsom.
Wanted to buy mahogany living room table by a lady with French provincial legs.
Oh, my goodness.
Goodness sake.
That's unusual.
Oh, looky there. Ain't Patience Waite had an accident?
Well, I'll declare.
Yes, sir. It said Miss Patience Waite was painfully bruised yesterday when a loose board struck her near the corner of her back porch.
You have to think about that in a while.
Well, bless
Oh,
your heart.
Miss Patience. Well, who in the world is going to write the poem for the paper next week then?
I am.
You are.
Yeah. While she's out, I write the poetry for the paper.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll make them up myself. I just made up one for next week.
Could we hear it?
Yeah, you want a preview?
Yeah, give me a preview.
There was a young man from the city who spied what he thought was a kitty. He gave it a pat, the cute little cat. We buried his clothes, yes, did he?
Here's our hymn for today, Angel Band. My latest sun is sinking fast. My race is nearly run. My strongest trials now are past. My triumph has begun. Oh, come, angel band, come and around me stand. Oh, bear me away on your snowy wings to my immortal home. Oh, bear me away on your snowy wings to my immortal home. Thank you, Don and Little Jack, for helping me on that one, and thank you, neighbors, for writing in and asking for it. And we want to be sure and get our guest back out here again to do us another great song, because this fella is a wonderful entertainer and appeared in so many, many movies. John, really good to have you with us. You know, you've made a lot of the movies with Autry. I've seen you in several of them.
Yeah.
And you still live in California, I know, so
Los Angeles.
it's nice to have you come to Tennessee and visit us.
Oh, I have to come down here quite often, Porter, to see you boys. I got probably more friends in Nashville than I have out there, so I feel quite at home here.
Good. Tell us a little story here, will you?
I'm enjoying your show very much, Porter, and I would like to tell you a little kind of a bedtime story now. The boys in your band requested this one because they get to lay out on it. Now, when I was a kid, just turned 14, had an old hound dog by the name of Queen. When we went hunting, we made quite a pair, because my old 12 gauge, it was loaded for bear. Up one hill and down the other, carrying 9 raccoons and their paw and mother. If we come home empty-handed, boy, that was rare. 'Cause me and old Queen, we was loaded for bear. One day, old Queen and me, we treed us a coon. That tree was so high, man, it nearly scraped on the moon. I throwed down my gun. I said, well, I swear I'm climbing for coon and I'm loaded for bear. Well, it seemed like I clumb about a mile up that dead blame tree. but nothing yet was I able to see. Then I heard a commotion way down on the ground. Old Queen had lit out. She was homeward bound. Now, Queen ain't no quitter. She's a first-class pooch. But I'm telling you, that hound was running like she'd been shot full of hooch. I looked straight down. Lawsy mercy me, there's a big black bear, and he's loaded for me. Well, here I am halfway to the top, hanging onto this tree, trying hard not to drop. Seems like I've been here nigh on to a year, but old Mr. Bear, he just don't seem to care. Well, I took all I could, so I called on the Lord. I says, Lord, I ain't much, and I don't deserve no reward. But I says, if you got notions of answering this prayer, you better come soon and come loaded for bear. Well, old Mr. Bear, he finally took the hint. He growled a few times and turned around and went. But he sure left his mark on me, I mean, in wear and tear, and that's the last time I ever went hunting when loaded for bear.
Hey, Johnny, beautiful job, man. Thank you very much. We have time, I believe, for a little bit of fiddle music here on the program, do we or not, fellas? Of course, we're going to have to stay so long. We'll do it next week, Little Jack.
All right.
And remember, neighbors, and join us next week at the same time.
This has been the Porter Wagoner Show, a half hour of good old country music and fun, featuring Porter Wagoner and the Wagonmasters, with Norma Jean, Speck, Rhodes, and our special guest, Johnny